Now, in true Salesforce format, we're going to tell some stories. The first story will be told by someone who was called by Alan Mulally, one of the greatest CEOs ever, the best practitioner in corporate America for social media. Ladies and gentlemen, the head of all social media for Ford Motor Company, Scott Monty. Thank you for joining us, Scott.
It's a pleasure, Mike. Glad to be here.
So, when you think of connecting with customers in a whole new way, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think we need to step back about 6 years or so to look at when Alan first came to Ford. In 2006, Ford was on the ropes. We actually were challenged. We were losing lots of money, and we decided that it was time to go to the banks and to take out a little bit of what Alan called a home improvement loan, $23.5 billion to be exact. And what we did is we poured that into our product development. We poured it into R&D. We poured it into making the products that people actually want and value. Because for a long time, the U.S. auto manufacturing industry has been accused of making cars that they want rather than cars that the public wants. And Alan came in and he said, it's time to change how we're doing things. It's time to listen to customers. And frankly, it's time within Ford that we all start coming together and uniting. Ford was notorious for having a series of fiefdoms. There was Ford of Europe, Ford of Asia Pacific and Africa, Ford of the Americas, and each one of them did business individually without respect to the other. And he said, we have a global company with global manufacturing expertise, global marketing expertise, so let's actually make this part of our focus. Let's become one Ford. So we all have one plan that we're working on with one set of goals, and we're one team. And that alone actually transformed the company. It was a culture shift.
It was internal change.
Absolutely internal change, but we talked about it externally as well. And this is the Ford plan. And what that has done is it's cleared the way for social. Now, back in 2006, Alan wasn't thinking about social. But in 2008, we started to get more strategic about it. I was brought in, and we started doing things with not just automotive bloggers, but with mom bloggers and tech writers and lifestyle journalists and whatnot, to really open it up to people that are talking about our vehicles. Because we realized that we had two major challenges. In addition to what a number of our board members said was a reputation problem, and Alan said, no, we don't have a reputation problem. We have a business problem. We need to fix that. You fix your product first, then you fix your marketing, right? As long as we have the products that we are proud of and a plan that we can be proud of, we can start talking about that. But in addition to that, people don't trust corporations the way they used to. Who do they trust? Third-party experts?
Absolutely.
And people like them. People like them. So we decided it's time to start showing the public that there are people like them at Ford Motor Company, perhaps employees, dealers, suppliers, or other customers. And it was our opportunity to connect them not only with Ford, but with each other. And so in addition to the One Ford plan, we developed a One Social vision for Ford. Because right now, everybody around the company has somebody above them saying, you must do social. And so there's all sorts of different modes of social going on within Ford. And we said, you know what? We need to unite everyone on social. And our social vision is about a human-centered, value-adding proposition. And we have 4 steps to our plan. Listen and engage.
I like that one so far.
Right? You'll see where this is going. Measure and monitor.
Love that one.
Training and learning internally.
Amazing.
And then growth at scale. Once we have all of our employees actually being social, we can scale this at a level we otherwise couldn't. Okay, so that's kind of the one Ford and the One Social vision for where we're going. It's very early days with that vision, but it's having that in place is going to help us have the structure with the governance and whatnot to actually make it happen. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the programs that we've actually done. In 2010, we completely redesigned and relaunched the Ford Explorer. Iconic vehicle. 20 years on the market, it defined the SUVs, right? And we decided if we're going to reinvent the vehicle, we should reinvent the way we introduce it to the public. Typically, automakers would go to an auto show, talk to auto journalists, right? It was completely inside the bubble. So we decided, let's reveal it in 8 cities simultaneously and on Facebook. We were the first auto manufacturer to reveal a vehicle on Facebook.
Early, then that was bold. That was early days.
Well, those are different times, too. I mean, this is 2010, and Facebook, I mean, as great as they are now, they were still big then, which is one of the reasons we went there, but it was a little bit different. For example, the like button that you see everywhere now, we actually took it out of Facebook and put it on a Yahoo homepage ad. Facebook had something to say about that. I know David can comment on that later. But we said, look, we're going to drive people to your platform. And what we did is, we just didn't say, hey, here's our car. We set up a series of stories, right? Because content is the currency of social. Content is the currency of social. And we provided a series of events and pieces of content that day. We had a tab created with our friends at Marketing Cloud that allowed us to go right down and allow people to choose what content mattered to them. Right? So they could pick and choose the stuff that mattered to them. And it was interviews with the 2 women who were the project managers for the reinvention. It was the chief engineer and his family. It was the designer who talked about learning from his mother, who was a ballet dancer. All these things that were stories that engaged people. At the end of the day, and our goal that day was to own the news, we had nearly 100 million social media impressions. Again, this is 2 years ago, so Twitter and Facebook aren't where they are today. But we were the #1 trending topic on Twitter that morning. We were the #2 trend on Google overall, and we were only #2 because that was one of the days that Lindsay Lohan was being admitted to or released from some facility. So
that was a campaign, but you didn't just stop there.
No, and as you see, it outperformed a Super Bowl ad, right? And we took that as an indicator that we could be successful in the social space at the scale we were used to with traditional media, okay? So we actually went on just this year as we debut the brand new 2013 Ford Fusion and hybrid and plug-in hybrid, that we've got a transmedia campaign with Ryan Seacrest as a star. Joel McHale and Kate Micucci also play supporting roles. And again, this is content-driven. And we're doing random acts, big and small, popping up in random places throughout the country and giving people an opportunity to see and touch and feel the car before anybody else.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Scott. That is amazing stuff. The fact you did it with the Marketing Cloud makes it even more amazing. But let's keep reinventing the space.
Thank you, Michael.
Everyone, Scott Monty.